last month or two for you? What's this been like?
It's been a drastic change in my schedule. Obviously, I start at like 7 in the morning, and I'm not getting home till 6 p.m. Just with lifting, with football, until about noon, and then basketball starts at 1, get done about 3:30, and then of course, since I'm kind of behind, and skill level with just juggling both, I'm getting extra shots up and extra work after practice. So, yeah, just a drastic change in my schedule.
This is unusual. What brought you to hey, I'd like to give this a try? How did it come about? Did you approach Josh? He told us way back when that he sort of told you last spring, hey, come on over. But when did you take this seriously?
So this is something that nobody knows except me and my mother. When I was young, my mom made me write affirmations. And so one of my biggest affirmations was to be a two-sport athlete in college. And I started that in about 5th grade. So it's just crazy that it's now happening now. But this all came about with Coach Josh Eilert when he had came to recruit my younger cousin, Jasper Johnson.
He's your cousin. We were talking about that a little while back.
Yeah.
You were the relation. Go ahead.
Yes, he's my younger cousin. And we went to high school together my junior and senior year. He had came down, watched the practice, and he loved the way I competed. And, I met him, introduced myself, and we just kind of carried that relationship all the way until I got down here for football. And I just checked in every time that I came down. He invited me to a hoop session that they had in the summer, competed in those, and I loved the energy, loved the vibe that I got from it. And he was like, after football, if you're still interested, you could come by. And so after football had ended, enjoyed the bowl game win for about a week, and then I cleared it with Coach Brown. That was fine with him. He gave me the A-OK, and I told Coach Eilert, it's a go. Let's do it.
What's it like being in high school, concentrating on football in a state that is religious for basketball? Yeah.
It's not crazy different at all. Like, I play football. Like, nobody's really looking at me. It's nothing like that. But I will say, it is tough being recruited from that state because a lot of guys are not heavy on it, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Because we are. I always say we're a basketball state.
Right.
Basketball is a really big thing down there. So I wouldn't say it's like anything bad or anything too much different.
But in high school football was
High school football. Yeah, that was kind of
more
my
concerned with football. I mean,
in high school.
yeah.
No, so that's another thing that nobody really knows.
Okay.
I didn't start playing football until 9th grade.
Okay.
So I've always been a basketball kid.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
so
that makes sense then.
yeah, I've always been a basketball kid. So yeah.
So at some point
It
later in
switched.
high school, then football became.
Yeah,
You just,
it did.
Yeah.
So I'll give y'all the background on that. So 9th grade, I lived in Nashville, Tennessee from 2nd grade all the way to 10th grade.
Okay.
And I went to a private school named Father Ryan from my freshman to sophomore year, freshman and sophomore year. And the football coach there, Coach Rector, he was like, man, you have to come out and play football. You're too athletic. And I was against it at first. I was like, no, coach, I came here to play basketball, and that's been my dream. It's been my vision. But he was like, man, I'm telling you, like, you can definitely come out and play some football. And an AAU teammate that I had currently at the time, his dad had became the strength and conditioning coach, Coach Sharp. So he was like, man, you're a Power 5 football kid, just by your the way you move, how athletic you are. And that's where it kind of just changed. And that's when it got in the way of like me training for basketball, how I usually do, and football became sort of like the main priority. And that's how it's been ever since.
What's football been like for you here? Obviously, your playing time very limited, but
Right.
workouts, everything. What you expected? Harder, easier? What's football been like?
As far as lifting, it's definitely been harder, but it's something that I'm kind of not scared off from, if that makes sense. Oddly enough, the trainer that I do work with, outside of like West Virginia, he actually got trained by Coach Mike Joseph, when he was at Notre Dame. So those workouts are similar, but it's nothing that that I'm like, oh my goodness, like I do not like this at all. It's definitely tough. Definitely pushes me and is improve my body in a great way.
Were you in spring ball this past spring?
No, sir.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, sir. I was a summer enrollee.
Okay, all right. So there was a basketball player on the football
Yeah,
team
that's what I heard.
trying to make a train. I was wondering if you
Uh-huh.
ever talked to him or.
Yeah.
Not as big as Jimmy Bell.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I definitely heard that he was like a lineman. I think he was going for lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a big guy.
So trying to do both now, I mean, because there's great opportunities at safety
Right.
coming up.
Mhm.
So it's not like you can just ignore football right now if you want to win that job. So how are you doing both and still concentrating on football?
Like I said, with the schedule, and just my work ethic included into my schedule, this has become like a lifestyle. So the concentration level has just been the same, steady. And like you had mentioned with the position and everything, like we still have two really good guys at safety, Aubrey Burks and Anthony Wilson, and those two guys are two guys that I love to learn from. And so that situation will work itself out, but those are really two guys that I love learning from. But yeah, like since this has become a lifestyle, concentration has just been the same.
Spear, cat,
Free safety
Free?
with Anthony
Okay.
Wilson.
Okay.
So you're on the road there, Texas this past week. The Texas game obviously didn't go the way anyone wanted it to, but the last 5 minutes, Josh looks down the bench, says, get in there. What was that moment like for you? Nervous or what?
Man, anything past nervous. I was super nervous. Of course, like, as much work as I've been putting in, I've been waiting for the opportunity, but it's just when you first get into the action, especially with their starters still being on the floor, definitely nerve-wracking. But I think it definitely prepared me for future. Now I'm more relaxed. Even in practice, when I practice with the guys, they're here for a reason. Those guys are really good basketball players. So even going against them in practice sometimes seems a bit much, but now it's like I'm kind of relaxed now. Like, all right, I'm here. You know what I mean? So definitely nervous first time on the court. Yeah, that's what the guys was telling me when I came off the court, because I was nobody knows this as well. I was very disappointed just on myself because I was so nervous. And I was trying to tell myself relax, but it's like I couldn't.
Right.
And the guys was like, man, listen, our first game, you don't want to know about our first game experiences. So it was just like, it's normal. So, yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
How did you end up at West Virginia? Your basketball coach is a Pitt guy, right?
Uh-huh.
Are you, first of all, you related to him somehow?
No, not by blood, but that's my dad. Like, he's been there ever since I was born, and that's who I see as dad.
So he didn't
Yeah.
badmouth West Virginia to you during the recruitment? How'd you end up at West Virginia?
So my recruiting process was interesting. I had first committed to Ball State going into my senior year, and then more of my film was getting exposed, and I remember Coach Neil Brown. No, it was Coach Shadon. Coach Shadon Brown was about to stop by the school, and he knows my head football coach, Dennis Johnson. And Coach Dennis Johnson was letting me know that, hey, West Virginia is going to be here soon. And so I was like, okay, like, let's see where this goes. I know Coach Shadon had seen my film. He had talked to Coach Dennis about it. They was like, nah, we want this kid. And so that was later, like maybe 2 months before graduation, if I'm not mistaken. And even before that, I changed from safety to go play receiver at Western Kentucky. And I was like, I'm committed to that. And then later, that's when the West Virginia situation happened. And I kind of got in this sticky situation of, am I going to Western or am I going to West Virginia? And so I definitely, since I was a little kid, wanted to be in Power 5, either basketball or football. So that was the opportunity that was presented, so I had to take it.
Is there a difference between football shape and basketball shape?
1,000%. 1,000%. Because in football, like after a play, you get about five seconds of a breather, getting the plays, getting the signals from the sideline. But in basketball, it's constant. I noticed that in playing at Texas, about three times up and down the court, I was done. But yeah, it's definitely a difference. definitely a difference.
You still talk to Jasper not much? I know he's at a prep school now. So how good is he, and how much do you talk to him still?
Man, I just got off the phone with him yesterday. Jasper's really good, really good. If he sees this, he's probably gonna use that against me because I tell him he's not that good. But no, he's really good, man. Like how he moves with his body is crazy. I've been trying to learn that from him, even though I'm older than him. Like sometimes he seems like I'm telling him like Jasper, you're stiff, but he's like, bro, it works. I'm like, how? He's really good with his shot. Obviously, his handles is crazy. It's like he's just a different kind of guy, a different kind of basketball player. But he's always been like that. He's always been in the gym late nights, even before schools was even coming after him. And so now you see that hard work paying off for him.
When you were talking earlier when you were a little kid about how you wanted to play two sports in college, that really goes against the trend where a lot of kids, everyone's focusing now in high school and they pick up one sport. Why was it important to you to play two sports in college?
My mom was very big on me dreaming and accomplishing anything that I wanted to dream about. So when I was like, Mom, I just want to play two sports, whether that be basketball, football, or basketball, soccer. That was my third sport was soccer, but basketball had to be included. But no, my mom was really big on that, like manifesting and accomplishing anything you want to. So when I realized, basketball is going to be my thing, and then high school football became it, I was like, that's it right there. Just going to be basketball and football, and let's see if I can do it. It's just something I dreamed about when I was younger.
You got a hell of a soccer team here, too.
Yeah. Nah, Coach Neal probably won't go for that. Nah, he's not going for that one. Nah.
No reservations from Coach Brown about letting you play both? I mean, did he, you had to have a conversation with him, you said, so how'd that go? Did he tell you, I don't know if it's a good idea, or what did he say?
No, Coach Brown, he actually surprised me when we had our conversation. He was just like, he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yes, sir. He was with it. He was 100% for it. He was like, man, just as long as you make your workouts, I'm fine with it. Do your thing. And that was kind of relieving for me because I was nervous about having that conversation. Like I said, that was something I talked about since I was younger. And so, like, if he were to say no, like, it would be what it is because football is the main priority. But, still that little kid in me is just like, yeah. So it was very relieving for him to be on board with it. Like,
clarification on your name, because I think in recruiting you were known as Aiden Nelson all the time. When did Tagaloa come in? And are we pronouncing it right? Is it Tagaloa?
Yes.
Okay.
My mom has been bad on me about this because my on my birth certificate my name is Aiden Nelson. Okay. The Tagaloa part comes from, I was like, Mom, I just want to add it. I wanted to add that because I'm mixed with Samoan. Okay. And so on both sides of my family, there's really been no one to get to the point that I've gotten to, whether that be college or athletically. And so I felt like carrying both sides of my family, I felt like representing that. And so I just wanted to add Tagaloa to it. So Tagaloa Nelson. Yeah.
On a football note, quick one, kind of off topic, but what big news in the video game world that they're going to have one. If you get an option, will you scan your likeness in, and how does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. I talked to a lot of my friends from back home yesterday about it. I asked them if they was gonna play with me when it comes out. All of them said no, but I think that's a lie. But I'm definitely excited about it. Because that was a game that I played when I was younger, NCAA 14, and they never came out with a new one. And then now it's like it's back, so I'm excited for that. So it came at a good time, came at a great time.
14, that was the end of the.
Yeah, that was the end of it.
Yeah.
You get a commitment from your basketball coach to come to the Pitt, West Virginia football game this year?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Did you get a commitment from your high school basketball coach to come to the Pitt, West Virginia football game this year? And who would he root for?
Yeah. So he actually came. He came to the one that we had last season, and he said he was gonna paint himself half and half. I was like, what? I was like, no, don't do that. Please don't. He ended up not doing it. So he said anytime Pitt plays West Virginia, he's going to always paint himself half and half. And I don't know what type of comments or remarks he's going to get for that, but that's on him.
Well, they're both blue and gold, so you
Yeah,
can't
true.
go-
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, they're both blue and gold. So,
Thank you.
thank you.